Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. Prayerfully, all the rains are now over and the floods are over, but it is Water Baptism Sunday. If you have not followed the Lord in water baptism is a part of our salvation. We identify with the death, burial, and resurrection into the newness of life. And there's tremendous spiritual benefits and things that occur in our life spiritually because we have taken this first step of obedience. So if you've not been water baptized, come 1.5 hours early to any of our services in all 3 locations this Sunday. It will be our privilege and honor to assist you as you follow the Lord in water baptism. You say, Pastor Summerall, how much? You know, at COP, everything is free. We honor the Lord with His tithe, and the tithe covers everything else. Right now, I want us to go back to the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart. For they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. We live in a Christian world today that teaches us that it really doesn't matter how you live. We're saved by grace. Yes, we are saved by grace, but we still have to live a righteous life. We are saved by faith, but God has still given us His Word that we are to follow and we are to live. Now, as we learn to live the Word of God, notice some of the benefits here. They will prolong your life many years. Forgive me, living in drunkenness and drinking alcohol. People say, well, red wine is good for you. No, it doesn't. The alcohol is a poison. The resveratrol inside the grapes is good for you, but the alcohol kills you, kills your brain cells, kills your liver. People involved in smoking, all this wild life, it shortens your life. Now, if you want a long life, live the Word of God. He says, all right, they will keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. There is a benefit to living a life that flows from the Word of God. God didn't write these commands to control our life. God wrote all of His Word to teach us how to live. This is His handbook of life. It's not a book of rules. It's a book of please, let me help you. Halimbawa. I use the illustration often. Sister Bev is still visiting my family down in Alabama right now. And, she told me, she said, when I got there and I was driving through the street, she said, I cried because I was thinking of your dad. And that made me tear up a little bit because I was thinking about Dad. And I remembered one of the first things he said to me. And I remember as a young 14-year-old boy, it kind of made me bristle and get angry. He walked up to me one day, right after he'd first met me, and I hadn't seen him since I was like 3 years old. He said, you still got that scar on your butt. I said, excuse me? People don't go around and look at your butt. I said, how'd you know about that? He said, I was there when you got it. I said, you were? He said, yeah, you were about 2.5, 3 years old. He said, there was this beautiful little heater built into the wall in the house in New Orleans where we lived. Houses down there have no heat and they have air conditioning, but really not in those days, no air conditioning either. But it does get a little cool in the winter, so they put these space heaters in the bathrooms. And he said, you thought it looked like a little chair, and I'd always tell you not to sit on it. But he said, one day I went out of the bathroom, and you got your little stool and pushed it over, and you climbed up to sit on it, and it was turned on. Well, needless to say, I burned my butt and wound up in the hospital. Now, when he told me not to sit on that little beautiful, it looked like a gorgeous little chair just for a little boy's butt. When he told me not to sit on that, was he trying to control me? No. He was telling me something that was for my benefit. If you can learn to look at the Bible and get this worldly mentality out of your heart that these things are written to control us and they're the law that dominates us and we're free from the Word of God because we live by grace. That is such a carnal, sinful understanding of God. When you sit down with the Bible, these are words that have been written to me to teach me the most wonderful lifestyle that will prolong my life and bring me prosperity. Then you'll read the Bible differently.